where we left off. The next chapter is called Understudy. So remember we talked about an understudy is the person that's kind of the backup for a role on a play or a lead or a position in a play. So that if the person's sick, can't make it to the play, then there's an understudy that is ready to step in and take over. So Via brought home 3 tickets to her school play a few days after Daisy died. We never mentioned the fight we had had over dinner again. On the night of the play, right before she and Justin were leaving to get to their school early, she gave me a big hug and told me she loved me and she was proud to be my sister. This was the first time in Via's new school. It was much bigger than her old school and 1,000 times bigger than my school. More hallways, more room for people. The only really bad thing about my bionic Lobot hearing aids was the fact that I couldn't wear a baseball cap anymore. In situations like these, baseball caps come in real handy. Sometimes I really wish I could still get away with wearing that old astronaut helmet I used to wear when I was little. Believe it or not, people would think seeing a kid in an astronaut helmet was a lot less weird than seeing my face. Anyway, kept my head down as I walked right behind Mom and thought it through the long, bright hallways. We followed the crowd to the auditorium where students handed out programs at the front entrance. We found seats in the 5th row, close to the middle. As soon as we sat down, Mom started looking inside her pocketbook. I can't believe I forgot my glasses, she said. Dad shook his head. Mom's always forgetting her glasses or her keys or something or other. You want to move closer? Said Dad. Mom squinted at the stage. No, I can see okay. Speak now or forever hold your peace, said Dad. I'm fine, answered Mom. Look, there's Justin, I said to Dad, pointing out Justin's picture on the program. That's a nice picture of him, he answered, nodding. How come there's no picture of Via? I said. She's an understudy, said Mom. But look, here's her name. Why do they call her an understudy? I asked. Wow, look at Miranda's picture, said Mom to Dad. I don't think I would have recognized her. Why do they call it an understudy? I repeated. It's what they call someone who replaces an actor if he can't perform for some reason, answered Mom. Did you hear Martin's getting remarried? Ooh, we know what that means. Remarried, right? Dad said to Mom. Are you kidding me? Mom answered, like she was surprised. Who's Martin? I asked. Miranda's father, Mom answered, and then to Dad. Who told you? I ran into Miranda's mother in the subway. She's not happy about it. He is an he has a new baby on the way and everything. Wow, said Mom, shaking her head. What are you guys talking about? I said. Nothing, answered Dad. Well, why do they call it an understudy? I said. I don't know, Augie Doggy, Dad answered. Maybe because the actors did kind of a study under the main actors or something. I really don't know. I was going to say something else, but then the lights went down. The audience got very quiet very quickly. Daddy, can you please not call me Augie Doggy anymore? I whispered in Dad's ear. Dad smiled and nodded and gave me a thumbs up. The play started. The curtain opened. The stage was completely empty except for Justin, who was sitting in an old rickety chair tuning his fiddle. He was wearing an old-fashioned type of suit and a straw hat. This play is called Our Town, he said to the audience. It was written by Thornton Wilder, produced and directed by Philip Davenport. The name of the town is Grover's Corner, New Hampshire. New Hampshire is up it's a New England state. It's up in the top of our country and would have been in the original 13 colonies, to give you an idea where they're talking about that this play was written. Just across the Massachusetts line, latitude 42 degrees 40 minutes, longitude 70 degrees, and 30 minutes. All they're doing there is telling you if you were looking at a map, you would be able to get the longitude and the latitude and see exactly where that is located. So we'll have to do that in class and pull out a map so you can see longitude and latitude on the map. You'll get more into that in later years. Okay. The first act shows a day in our town. The day is May 7th, 1901. The time is just before dawn. So think about what's happening in the world. 1901. That's over 100 years ago, 119 years ago. So we're after the Revolutionary War, we're after the Civil War, and we haven't gotten to this point in our study in history. But I know that we have mentioned, Avner has mentioned, and some other friends from classes have mentioned World War I and World War II. 1901 is prior to World War I and World War II. And our dancers in Miss Curry's, our third grade program that Miss Curry helped put on with you, and we had our dancers up there. Those dancers were 1920 dancers, so it was even prior to that. So it was a way different time in history. I knew right then and there that I was going to like the play. It wasn't like other school plays I'd been to, The Wizard of Oz or Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. No, this was grown up seeming, and I felt smart sitting there watching it. A little later in the play, a character named Webb calls out for her daughter, Emily. I knew from the program that that was Miranda, the part that Miranda was playing, so I leaned forward to get a better look. That's Miranda? That's Miranda, Mom whispered to me, squinting at the stage. When Emily walked out, she looked different. It's not Miranda, I whispered. It's Via. It's not Miranda. Shh, said Dad. It's Via, Mom whispered to him. I know, whispered Dad, smiling. Shh. Next chapter is called The Ending. The play was so amazing. I don't want to give it away. I don't want to give away the ending, but it's the kind of ending that makes people in the audience teary. Mom totally got lost when Via, as Emily said, goodness, this is a rough morning for me. Goodbye, goodbye, world. Goodbye, Grover's Corners. Mama and Papa, goodbye to all clocks ticking in Mama's sunflowers, and food and coffee and new iron dresses and hot baths and sleeping and waking up. Oh, Earth, you're too wonderful for anyone to realize you. Okay, I know that wasn't that emotional, but I've had an emotional morning with the other chapter, so it's really getting me. Okay, Via was actually crying while she was saying this, like real tears. I could see them rolling down her cheeks. It was totally awesome. After the curtain closed, everyone in the audience started clapping. Then the actors came out one by one. Via and Justin were the last ones out. And when they disappeared, the whole audience rose to their feet. Bravo! I heard Dad yelling through his hands. Why is everyone getting up? I said. It's a standing ovation, said Mom, getting up. So I got up and clapped and clapped. I clapped until my hands hurt. For a second, I imagined how cool it would be to be Via and Justin right then, having all these people stand up cheering for them. I think there should be a rule that everyone in the world should be get a standing ovation at least once in their lives. I like that rule. Finally, after I don't know how many minutes, the line of the actors on stage stepped back and the curtain closed in front of all of them. The clapping stopped and the lights went up and the audience started to getting up to leave. Me and Mom and Dad made our way to the backstage. Crowds of people were congratulating the performers, surrounding them, patting them on the back. We saw Via and Justin in the center of the crowd, smiling at everyone, laughing and talking. Via, said Dad, shouting, waving as he made his way through the crowd. Then when he got close enough, he hugged her and lifted her off the floor a little. You were amazing, sweetheart. Oh my goodness, Mia, said, was screaming with excitement. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. She was hugging Via so hard I thought Via would suffocate, but Via was laughing. You were brilliant, said Dad. Brilliant, Mom said, kind of nodding and shaking her head at the same time. And you, Justin, said Dad, shaking Justin's hand and giving him a hug at the same time. You were fantastic. Fantastic, Mom repeated. She was honestly so emotional she could barely talk. What a shock to see you up there, Via, said Dad. Mom didn't even recognize you at first, I said. I didn't recognize you, said Mom, her hand over her mouth. Miranda got sick right before the show started, said Via, all out of breath. There wasn't time to make an announcement. I have to say, she looked kind of strange because she was wearing all this makeup, and I've never seen her like this before. And you just stepped in there in the last minute, said Dad. Wow. She was amazing, wasn't she? Said Justin, his arm around Via. There wasn't a dry eye in the house, said Dad. Is Miranda okay? I said. But no one heard me. At that moment, a man who I think was their teacher came over to Justin and Via, clapping his hands. Bravo, bravo, Olivia and Justin. He kissed Via on both cheeks. I flubbed a couple of lines, said Via, shaking her head. But you got through it, said the man, smiling ear to ear. Mr. Davenport, these are my parents, said Via. You must be so proud of your girl, he said, shaking their hands with both hands. We are, and this is my little brother August, said Via. He looked like he was about to say something, but suddenly froze when he looked at me. Mr. D, said Justin, pulling him by the arm, come meet my mom. Via was about to say something to me, but then someone else came over and started talking to her. And before I knew it, I was kind of alone in the crowd. I mean, I knew where Mom and Dad were, but there were so many people all around us, and people kept bumping into me, spinning me around a bit, giving me that 1-2 look, which made me feel kind of bad. I don't know if it was because I was feeling hot or something, but I kind of started getting dizzy. People's faces were blurring in my head, and their voices were so loud it was almost hurting my ears. I tried to turn the volume down on my low-bot ears, but I got confused and turned it louder, which kind of shocked me. And then I looked up and I didn't see Mom or Via or Dad anywhere. Via, I yelled out, starting pushing through the crowd to find Mom. Mommy? I really couldn't see anything but people's stomachs and ties all around me. Mommy! Suddenly, someone picked me up from behind. Look who's here, said a familiar voice, hugging me tight. I thought it was Via at first, but then I turned around and it was completely surprised. Hey, Major Tom, she said. Miranda, I answered, and I gave her the tightest hug I could give. Goodness, I need to stop reading this morning. This has just been an emotional morning for me, which is ridiculous. So, sometimes books just wrap me up and take me in. I'm going to stop there. We're going on to part 7, and part 7 is Miranda. So we're going to hear from her, and I'll get that one read tonight so I can get it posted for you. I hope you're doing well and hope you're enjoying this book as much as I am.